Welcome to the WrestleTalk News. I'm Quinnell. It's been a while since we've had some CM Punk-based wrestling news, isn't it? Too long, I say. So let's bring him up again. Ever since he was released from AEW, fans have been wondering whether he'd ping-pong right back to WWE again, with opinions divided on the he do business argument and the WWE released him on his wedding day argument. Is there too much bad blood there to be forgotten about? It's seemingly more beef than Punk had with the Elite and Jack Perry, and we saw how that one went. But there may be some clues as to Punk's future, and it comes directly from WWE Raw. Seth Rollins has been vocal in the past about his dislike of CM Punk, even calling him a cancer in an interview, but could the very same person be teasing a feud with Punk in the near future? On Raw last night, Seth Rollins was talking to Michael Cole in the ring, where Cole mentioned that Rollins had been called many things over the years: architect, visionary, but also puppeteer, manipulator, but this time, he's the puppet. Eagle-eyed viewers, or I guess in this case, eagle-eared listeners, noted that this little line shared some similarities with a certain iconic CM Punk promo from Ring of Honor back in 2005, where Punk said, "This is my stage, this is my theater, you are my puppets, and I pulled those marionette strings." Now, that might seem a little tenuous. Sure, there's a link about puppets, but is that really all? Well, on last week's episode of Raw, Seth Rollins also just so happened to remark that his 100% makes him the best in the world. Coincidence? Maybe. But also, 2 weeks in a row of noticeable similarities with things related to CM Punk? It could be something there. And just to add further fuel to this fire, Survivor Series this year is in Chicago. Look, I'm not saying it's confirmed or anything, but there's something there, right? Now, play this clip back when it either does or does not happen, and you can call me a genius/idiot based on the outcome. Sean Ross Sapp on the Fightful Raw post-show stream said that he's going to exhaust his sources this week and will have an update regarding CM Punk and WWE soon, which will prove that I'm a genius/idiot, depending. Elsewhere on Raw, there were a couple of advertised matches that didn't end up happening. Going into this week's episode, Jey Uso versus Damian Priest and Becky Lynch versus Tegan Nox for the NXT Women's Championship were both slated to be on the show, but neither happened for seemingly different reasons. Fightful Selects reported that Becky Lynch had not been cleared to compete. At NXT No Mercy, it was reported that Becky sustained a laceration that required 11 stitches, and she reportedly hasn't been cleared since then, with that injury ongoing, which is yet more rough luck for Tegan Nox, who I think has a shout for unluckiest wrestler ever. Meanwhile, Jey Uso vs Damian Priest was pulled from advertising for the show beforehand, which seems to have just been creative changing, as both Jey and Priest were on Raw but in a different capacity. More of those last-minute changes, eh?
Man, I wish this book went behind the curtain and showed me all the fascinating aspects of wrestling we fans don't get to see in the ring.
I know what Tempest's thinking. He's thinking he wishes his book took a deep dive into some of wrestling's biggest controversies, giving insight into the murkier side of the sport we know and love.
I know that look in Pete's eyes. He's keen to know more about the ongoing controversy of unionization in wrestling. And his right eye is even more keen to delve into the issues that have shaped the modern pro wrestling landscape.
Man, Tempest is really staring at me. Wait, maybe he's wishing his book critiqued wrestling's institutions and was more of a testament to those who fight not just inside the ring, but outside the ring too.
Huh. I wish I could read.
Gentlemen.
God?
What? No, guys. It's me, Dave Bradshaw, the voice of British wrestling and, nay, the world. I've been listening to your internal monologues, and I think I have the answer to all your prayers.
Told you he was God.
Get WrestleTalk's brand new book, Wrestling Unmasked, straight from the pages of WrestleTalk magazine. Wrestling Unmasked is a must-read for all wrestling fans. Head on over to Amazon to pick up your copy now by clicking on the link in the video description below and prepare for your understanding of the wrestling world to be turned upside down.
Luke, your book is upside down. Never mind.
My crikey, that's so interesting. Oh, I'm very sorry. Yes, buy the book. Anyway, it's now time for my review of Monday Night Raw, aka the "We Finally Found That Johnny Gargano Toy Down the Back of the Sofa" edition of Monday Night Raw in about 5 minutes. The show was supposed to open with Nia Jax versus Shayna Baszler in the first of our advertised things that didn't happen, but instead they just brawled to the ring. Raquel Rodriguez joined the fun, as did Rhea Ripley, who made her return to lay out some security guards. It was a fun and chaotic way to open the show, and it set up a nice fatal four-way for down the line. It wasn't announced for Fastlane, so One would presume this will happen on Raw in the next few weeks. Rhea stayed in the ring, though, to transition into our next talking segment, and there are a lot of those on this show, where she wanted to address the issues within Judgment Day. Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again. Ripley blamed Damian Priest for the team falling apart and for Dom Dom losing his title, and told Dom that she's got him a rematch for the North American Championship on NXT, and if he doesn't win this time, he shouldn't even consider coming home to mummy. Never have the stakes been higher in any match in WWE history. WWE had also advertised Jay versus Priest for this show, but announced in this segment that Priest wasn't medically cleared and couldn't compete, so that's our second advertised thing on this show that was cancelled. Jey Uso came out to flirt with Rhea Ripley and got into a brawl with Judgment Day alongside Cody Rhodes, who came down to even the odds, and Adam Pearce announced that Finn and Priest will defend the tag titles against Jey and Cody at Fastlane. At least it isn't Kevin and Sami again, I guess. Later in the show, JD McDonough suggested that they need to drive a wedge between Kev, Sami, Cody, and Jey. I don't think that's going to be a particularly difficult task, mate. WWE made a big deal out of Jade Cargill's signing, which they should do. It is a big deal, and over 20 minutes since the show began, we got our first wrestling match. A fun little 10-man tag with Imperium beating Alpha Academy, which saw Giovanni Vinci play the difference maker as he saved Kaiser from getting an avalanche fall-away slam from Otis to get the win. We got a recap of Becky Lynch and Tiffany Stratton's excellent No Mercy match, and they showed the injury she picked up and said, "Excellent match," as well as announcing that the announced Tegan versus Becky match was also not happening. That's 3 now, everyone. The weirder thing here, though, is that they said Becky versus Tegan will happen at some other point, but Lynch will be on NXT tonight to look for her next challenger. It's Tegan Nox. She's the next challenger. You just told us that. Bronson Reed squashed Cedric Alexander, and Drew McIntyre told Adam Pearce that he didn't want to do the pre-announced Miz TV segment. That's 4 for 4, everyone. All 4 things announced for this show did not happen. I think that's a new record. Thankfully, WWE instead gave us a much bigger match that wasn't pre-announced, as Tommaso Ciampa and Gunther's contract signing for Fastlane was instead moved to Raw's main event. It was a great promo from Ciampa and an even better one from Gunther. And after AEW's long 4-hour show on Sunday with a couple of matches that could have been on TV, I quite like WWE's method of having big matches happen on Raw, even if the ad flows do ruin the flow of them. Xavier Woods picked up a win over Ivar in a match that didn't quite live up to the expectations set by the Kofi match 2 weeks ago, but it also wasn't given the time to get over. More on that later. But even though Woods won, Ivar killed both Xavier and Kofi after the match and hit the moonsault on both of them, so who's the real winner, hey? It's Xavier Woods. He's the real winner. Do you know how good WWE's video department is? Like, I've said this time and time again, that they are the best in the world, and here's a great example of why. With only pre-existing footage, they made the Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura feud look great. The segments have been broadly average at best, but this video made it feel like the biggest thing on Raw, so kudos, lads. Seth came out for a promo with Michael Cole where he talked about his love of pro wrestling. Nakamura cut a video promo, but it was just a distraction so he could attack him from behind. He laid out Seth and counted to 10, but Rollins kept getting back up. Eventually, Nakamura kept him down for the 10 and held aloft the title. A simple and effective go-home segment for a cold-as-balls feud. Tegan Nox and Natalya are friends now, which is a good thing as she stopped distractions from Piper Niven so Nox could pin Chelsea Green in just over 2 minutes. Literally just over 2 minutes. 5 seconds over 2 minutes, in fact. And guess what? The crowd didn't care, and why should they? You can't get someone over in 2 minutes competitive matches. This isn't helping Nox in any way, shape, or form. And she and Natty hugged after the match, so I guess they're your new contenders for the women's tag titles that no one really cares about. This was also the only women's match on the show. Do better, WWE. Drew came out for a promo but was interrupted by The Miz, so you may as well have done Miz TV, and it led to a match where Drew beat Miz in his suit by throwing him into an exposed turnbuckle. I love Drew in this role, and I have no opinion on The Miz acting like a child pretending to barf. Fun fact, that match went longer than the Tegan Nox one did. Lol. Not Kathy Kelly interviewed Trick Williams about his North American Championship win, which was also used to announce that all of Judgment Day will be on NXT tonight. Judgment Day and Becky Lynch on NXT? Is it TV rights negotiation season by any chance? And the work doesn't stop for Judgment Day there, as Cody Rhodes announced they'll also be on SmackDown, as will Cody and Jay. Brand split. LOL. And the main event saw Ciampa and Gunther have a 20-minute banger, which the crowd actually didn't care about much early doors, instead doing fireflies with their phone torches, but the action was so good that they did get into the near falls. Gunther put Ciampa away with the sleeper, and then Johnny Gargano made the save from Ciampa being beaten down by Imperium, and they set up to do the meet in the middle kick, but the broadcast ended and we missed it. Cool. The main event and Gargano's return, even without the pop, saved this episode. Little to no wrestling on a 3-hour wrestling show is unforgivable in my eyes, but most of the segments were pretty good. It's your average 3 out of 5 show. Now, it's Fastlane this weekend, so it's time for you to check out our predictions for the show in just 3 words or less, and I'm going to read this fabulous book with British wrestling legend Kendo Nagasaki. I don't know if you're featured in this. You might be. I'm trying to read. Are you reading? I don't know if you're in the book, Ken.